weekly dose of pop culture
with Kathy and Kenny. Welcome to the show.
We back. We live. Hello and welcome. It's Saturday night. It's Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture as we do on a Saturday night. I am Kathy along with my brother.
Kenny.
Okay. Just
I
checking to
was
see
on
if you're
time. I
okay.
was on time. I
Okay.
was
All
on time.
right.
That time. I'm at George's house. I'm where Olivia and I.
Mhm.
Yeah, Olivia and I are babysitting me. Just me to go to bed,
Okay.
and he didn't want to go.
Ah.
And he did a lot of crying,
Oh no.
and I had to hold him and kind of pat his back, and he did. Yeah, there's a reason. I'm glad all my kids are grown,
So now you just get to do the
and I don't have
grandpa.
to do that anymore.
Uh-huh.
I just get to go. Yeah, they went to go to a concert, go see Leon Bridges.
Okay. Leon Bridges. Why does that sound
Have you ever
familiar?
heard? Have you ever heard? Oh man, you have to listen to Leon Bridges. He's like a modern day Sam Cooke.
Okay. All right. Leon Bridges.
You have to listen.
I don't know
Like
that.
check out Leon
Your
Bridges.
your audio
And
is
then
so
another.
skinny. Are you
Hmm?
using a microphone or are you just using the sound through the computer?
To the computer. You want me to use the mic?
I think you need a microphone because your sound is god
Okay.
awful. Please
Okay.
get that hooked up, get that taken care of, and get that together. It is Saturday night, and here on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture, every Saturday night, we kind of talk about different topics. It might be like last week was the sweatiest movies. Sometimes it's, best of the 80s. And I don't know how we do it, but it seems every week there is a reference to Die Hard. I'm not sure why. It's not a Christmas movie, but my goodness. Um, that's just how it goes. And we thank you guys for coming along for the ride, our Pop Culture Kids and Scooby Life in the house. Hey, how are you? We have been off for over a month. We came back last week and we're just getting into the groove of things. Leon Bridges, and I've heard that name before, but I have not heard the music. So I need to up my pop culture game because as far as music is concerned, I think I've been stuck in the 80s and I have never left, which is kind of sad. But are we hooked up? Are you good? Are you good? Because when you were
Hold on.
using the computer mic, okay, he's still working on it. When he was on the computer mic, it was kind of phasing in and out. And you know so that's where it is. But anyway, Saturday night is our kind of our jam to talk about all things pop culture, and usually we have like different topics and things that we talk about and kind of put the focus around, whether it's a top 10 list of movies, or whether it's movies that either one of us haven't seen and need to catch up on. TV shows, I know we probably will need to do something on TV shows because I kind of feel like I'm I'm in this um just a lost space when it comes to TV shows, and I've only been kind of deferring to my streaming service. So now I have Amazon Prime. Now, if you have Amazon Prime, this is what you need to do, or not need to do, but just know that if you have Amazon Prime, you have access to the Stars lineup through Amazon Prime. So if you're paying for cable or DirecTV and you also have Amazon Prime because you like getting those packages like the next day, then cut that Stars subscription definitely off because you can get that through Amazon Prime. So last weekend I got to see, and I actually saw it. I rented it through Redbox, but Spider-Man, No Way Home, Homecoming, com- Home, Home Sweet Home. Why are all the movies have the name home in it? And that's a pop culture fact that I'm sure folks might know. So let's try that sound, Kenny. How's that sound for you? Because I see you got the mic set up, and that's the Samsung Q2U, which again, if you're doing even if you're doing like web meetings and Zoom meetings, that's a microphone that if you have a sound system to hook it up to, a Focusrite or a Rodecaster Pro, you can use it with the XLR connection, but also it could plug into a computer, right? USB-C. So, Kenny, how's that working for you? Can can you hear? Because now we can't hear you. So, did you change your settings in StreamYard? And also make sure you remember the microphone runs through are you using the microphone that runs through the, um, the headphones that run through the microphone? Or are you running the headphones through the computer? Because 'Cause I'm not hearing you at all. So, we'll let him take a minute to work on that. Uh, this week we were gonna talk about, I asked Kenny because usually he sends me a list and I got all this information so I can get some pictures and different things going. I didn't get a list this week. So he's like, "Oh, we'll just talk about Olivia Newton-John." I'm like, I don't think I got an hour of Olivia Newton-John in me, especially since really she only did one movie that I truly loved. And no, it is not Grease, believe it or not. Look at the chords, the craziness of the chords. Uh, let's see if Kenny is back. Are you back? And we don't hear a word. Uh, um, can you hear me? You can't. Evidently, you can't hear me. For some reason, it says your mic is mute or that you don't have a mic. Your it says my on my end, it's telling me your mic is not connected. So that's part of what we're dealing with. Your mic is not connected. So that should be something that you can take a look at and hopefully correct because it's telling me your mic is not connected. So it, even though it seems like you were on mute, you're not on mute. Um, but in any case, in pop culture news, a lot of pop culture news, they always say famous people die in threes. And it seems like that has held true this week as well. And let's see, he's sending me a message in the private chat. The sound went out in the middle of you talking, and I can't hear you. Okay, yeah, you can't hear me. I I can't hear you either. So, as far as hopefully broadcasting, we can be heard. I know I did have excuse me, music playing, so I don't know if that's still playing in the background. And Kenny, what I would ask you is when you put the microphone in, when you hooked it up to the computer, did you make a change in the settings in StreamYard? I might have to share my screen to walk you through it because I'm thinking that maybe under audio you haven't changed, um, you know where the audio is coming from. So StreamYard might still think it's coming from. Um, I took you off of mute. I'm trying to unmute you, and it's saying you cannot unmute your guest. Their microphone isn't connected. Okay, that's the message I'm getting. Uh, uh, it's saying that your microphone is not connected. So it says your microphone is not connected. So it's not that I'm muting you. It's not reading a microphone. So what I am suggesting is go to settings because I guess me saying that repeatedly isn't working. I better type it. Go to settings and check audio. Did you go to settings and check audio to make sure that your audio is coming out of the right place as well as your sound? He's just staring at me and not getting it. So let's see if he will actually check it. Check. Check. Let's see if he does that. And he's looking around. It's funny because I can see him looking. I should bring him back on the screen, but that would be mean when he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to figure it out. We probably should have did a dry run, but we've been doing this for almost 2 years. So you would think some of the simple things. And I talked to him about, and here's what I can't understand because I upgraded to the Rodecaster Pro 2. So I actually gave him a Rodecaster Pro. So he actually should be able to stream sound effortlessly, but I don't think he's there yet. Hey, it still is saying that your mic is not connected. Okay. My controls say your mic is not connected.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, wait, I heard you. But it's
I'm like,
I can hear you now, but your lips aren't moving or your image is
okay,
frozen.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Why is this not working?
I can hear you now.
I'm trying to make it work.
Okay, I can hear you, but it's not matching the screen. So I don't know if that's your internet connection.
I can't hear you though.
You can't? You cannot hear me?
I can't hear you.
Oh, it's always a good time. He can't hear me. Do you have the mic plugged into the computer or into the I'm sorry, the headphones? Are headphones plugged into the computer or plugged into the mic? Because remember, you had this problem before using the Q2U of plugging the headphones back into the microphone in the back of the microphone. Or did you plug the headphones into the computer? Okay, and you still can't hear me. I guess I'll just keep talking.
Okay, but you can hear me though, right?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Wobbaloo bobble bam boom. How's that?
That's very loud, very loud. But does it matter if you can't hear me? How are we gonna have a conversation?
Wobble bam boom. No, is that not what?
You're just gonna talk randomly.
Hold on for a second. I'm gonna try something else.
All right. So are you using the Rodecaster Pro? I guess he's not. So I guess I'm gonna have to just type out everything I say to him. Because I think if you were using the Rodecaster Pro, it would help. Because I know the MacBook you said died. I gave him a MacBook. It was an old MacBook. I think I only paid $600 for it. It was a MacBook Air, but it's not holding a charge. So I think the battery is dead. So he's going to send that back to me, and I'm going to try some computer experimentation because I've done it before, and I know before I went to MacBook, I was constantly breaking open my computers and trying to upgrade, whether it was RAM or drives or okay. Did you figure out what you did or didn't do?
I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. That's
No,
nice.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. Um, so now oh, that's just choice. That was not me. Okay, I am not doing some awful kind of, "Oh, you did that big sister bump and totally kicked them out the stream." No, I would not do that. No, I wouldn't. I don't know whether he clicked something and disconnected himself, so hopefully he'll get back on. Oh my god, this is like the 2020 days when, we didn't know what we were doing and, uh, the stream was a hot mess. I was about to say the screen, the stream, whatever.
I'm having
Hey,
all kind of I'm having all kind of problems here. I'm
you live
having
in
all
that
kind of
Z
problems. I
life.
don't know what's my it's my day. My day. It's my day.
Uh, you know what? I mean, my day
Okay,
was
you can hear me now, right?
I
Everybody
can
can hear
hear
me
you.
now, right?
I think the folks can hear you.
Okay, good.
I think they can hear
Yeah,
you.
Mike
Uh,
Mike is listening and Mike texted me that. Yeah, Mike is texting me that, "Oh my god, we can't hear you now." I'm getting cursed out for having an HP instead of a Mac, I think.
no, well, I was saying I had
I
gotten
don't
you
know.
that
I'm just saying
Mac, and I'm 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 just disappointed that it doesn't work, that it's not
okay.
holding.
And I didn't hook the Rodecaster Pro up to the PC because I thought it would be better to wait for the Mac to get prepared to hook the Rodecaster up to it. But I'm gonna have to
Well,
try
no,
to hook the Rodecaster to the PC.
I mean, I think it probably would help your sound, and I don't think, I don't think the Rodecaster Pro it's not like, some of the other streaming software. Like, one of the things I, wanted to use for us was Ecamm, but even so, that's like PC only. But the Rodecaster Pro will work with a PC, it'll work with a, Apple, a MacBook. So, I you know, it's almost like even if that's too overwhelming, I think you can spend like $150 and get like a Focusrite, uh, interface that would go take that XRL computer. Although that, microphone, I would imagine you should be able to hook straight into the computer. But the thing is, you also have to tell the software that we're using to stream, which is StreamYard, you have to tell the software that, "Hey, we you know, uh, we use StreamYard, to stream because it has been easier for us to do interviews. I'd like us to use Ecamm, but I wanted to wait till both were on Macs, to do it. But StreamYard, if you are doing a stream or if you're thinking about doing your own, podcast or video stream, check the link in the description and, check out StreamYard. So, but, that's that. But anyway, um, how are you doing?
How was what now that we're now that we okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Can Explain Culture. What to happen when you're doing a podcast and how to use different podcast equipment. My buddy Mike is texting me. He's like, "You always got to do stuff the hard way." He didn't say stuff though. It kind of cursed me out. You always got to do stuff the hard way. Get up to date, dude. It's 2022.
Ouch. That's
And this is the same guy. This is the same guy who my case about uh not having an iPhone.
well, and you know what? Not having an iPhone, and I have an iPhone and I'm all in for iPhone, but I tell you what, I'm liking some of those foldable phones, that Samsung is coming out with, where you can unfold it and have like a whole screen and, like almost like a iPad mini size screen. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. That might be my when I upgrade. That might be my next level up.
The new Samsung phone might be a cool one to try.
Yeah, the folded ones. I've seen those. That might be my new level up. When I get rid of the old Samsung.
Hmm.
But I have the 21, which is one of the latest Samsung. They got the 2 out, but I have the 21. It takes great pictures. It takes great video. It's no different than an really. So
It's no
um,
different than.
that's what. Let me do what I did today.
Okay.
Um, No, actually, no. I'm very tired today, and I've had a busy week. So, and I got, and then to end my day, I got this baby to sleep, and I haven't done that in about 15, 20 years. No, she's
Okay.
16. Okay, I haven't done that in like 15, 14 years. Yeah, about 14, 13 years I haven't done that. Um, no, Mike, it's not a dinosaur. So one thing about pop culture, one today is, are you pulling
Oh, I was just checking out
the
the new
picture?
Samsung phone. The Z Fold, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold. Um, I don't know, it looks interesting, looks fun. There's also an S22
It looks
Ultra.
cool. I'm,
Huh?
I'm just worried about the screen folding up because once you open the screen, I'm worried about the fold and screen.
You're worried
I
about
need
the
I need
fold.
to I need to see somebody at first came out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You need to see somebody
like
else.
I'm worried about does that mess up the screen? Yeah, I need to see somebody who's had it when because it like a year or so ago. So I need to see somebody else's that has it
Like
and see how that folded
like
that
whether
screen
that fold
wears
like
and tears.
yeah, that's what I would worry about too. But
Yeah,
now,
I,
what's
I need
the
to
average life
I
of
need to
your
see the wear and
phone?
tear of the fold
What's the average life of your cell phone? How long do you hold onto a phone?
as long as I can.
Okay. I
See,
know
that's
I
the thing about an Android. An Android will last.
mhm.
An
An iPhone
iPhone
will
doesn't
last.
last.
I think an iPhone lasts because I mean, I've
Yeah,
had
but
like I rocked that
it
iPhone
seems
4
like
for years.
it seems like the iPhone always has there's always got upgrades, and once you upgrade,
True.
some of the lower phones don't anymore. Up iPhone, it seems like they want Apple to buy a new one and spend
Well,
your
you know
money
what?
with an Android. You can rock that for a long time. I've
That
seen
that is
flip phone Androids. Okay,
okay. That is a good point of contention because I do find that when they do an upgrade and they do a new model and they update the operating system, and a lot of times your later model struggles to do all the features of the new operating system. I've been pretty pleased. I think I didn't come in till like iPhone 4, I believe, and then from 4 I went to like I think the 6 Plus and then to the 10, and I had an 11 at one for one of my phones, my work phone, and then now both of my phones, my work and my personal phone, are 13 Pros. So I did skip like I went from a 10 on my personal phone to the 13. So I skipped a couple of those generations. And even though the 14 is probably coming out later this year, um, my 13 isn't even a year old. So I'm probably gonna stick with the 13. Maybe till iPhone gets to the point where they have a fold in it. And by then the technology is where it needs to be. But, I and again, I'm glad I'm able to be here and I'm talking and I'm not feeling as sore. I do have to say I took some pain medicine earlier, but that's only because I had to have 2 wisdom teeth removed, and man, I'm like, my wisdom teeth, they were in there, they weren't bothering me. The dentist wanted to take them out, like, over a year ago, and I'm like, "They're not bothering me. I'm gonna leave those bad boys alone." Well, I've had this tooth pain in my mouth for almost 2 months, and even when I called to get an appointment, I had to wait almost 3 weeks. So, I've just been in unbearable pain, and not
Yeah.
unbearable pain, but when I bite certain things, it was like, "Oh, okay, I'm not chewing on this side." So, I had to have I went to the dentist Monday, they took X-rays, and the dude was like, "Oh, it's gotta come out." I'm like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, we can't fill it or fix it or" no, it's gotta come out. And not only that one, but the one above it is gonna cause problems if we take the one tooth out. They gotta go. So, yeah, I had wisdom teeth removed. Ouch. But anyway,
Well,
I'm better now.
we couldn't put a string. We couldn't put a string around that and just stay in
And
the
just
store.
yank it out. It wasn't loose. Like, they had to go in, like, and numb it up. So, basically, they put some numbing gel, like, all around your mouth, and that's not to actually do the procedure. The numbing gel is just to get you ready for the needle, which I'm sure was, like, what, 40 feet wide? I don't know. It probably wasn't that long, but that was, like, a
No,
long.
it wasn't.
Well, it felt like it, but anyway, and I guess the numbing gel is so that you won't feel it, but yeah, you feel a little pinch of it, and then when it hits like a nerve, and then you're just like, yeah, eyes roll in the back of your head. So then they numb it all up, and then they walk away. They're talking about their weekend, and they're having all kinds of fun, and I'm sitting here, with the little thing, sucking up what, liquid I have left in my mouth, and everything's all numbed up, and of course,
A bottle of blippy bubble pour. A
yeah,
bottle of blippy bubble pour.
I'm full blown like a Bill Cosby routine, and, so but, um, the thing is, the actual pulling of the teeth didn't take that long, and I left work because I was like, "Oh, I'll leave work, I'll go get this done," and I was like, "Well, I was at work, I'll be able to go back to work, won't I?" And Dennis is like, "Nah, I don't think so." 'Cause, your mouth is all
Yeah,
swollen.
I had my wisdom teeth, pulled, and
All 4 of them?
yeah, I was a big baby.
Huh?
I uh,
At the same time?
no, I think I had 2 pulled.
Okay.
Yeah, gotta man up. Gotta man up.
Ugh. Well, like I said, he wanted to remove them, and to me, that they weren't bothering anything, but then when they started bothering things, it was like, oh, they had to come out, and, you know and actually, I think one of my stitches kinda came out, like, because I was like, "Oh, what's this string in my mouth?" And it was like a stitch, but they're supposed to, like, dissolve, so I'm hoping things are all, like, kinda sealed up and healed up, um, but it throbs, and that's a pain in the butt, so but anyway, wisdom teeth have nothing to do with pop culture. We didn't get to talk any pop culture
No, it
today.
has nothing to do with Speak. Okay, so I
But
hope
hey,
you.
you know what?
Okay, so did you write down?
I'm sorry, when you were gone trying to fix your sound and audio, I was just telling the people, and I think we talked about it a little bit last week, but my big pop culture discovery, because I have a Fire Stick, and I know some people use a Roku, but whatever you have, whether it's Apple
Oh, I
TV,
did hear that
Fire
part. I
Stick,
did hear that part.
yeah, any of those streaming services, 'cause I'm totally on the stream right now, but if you have Amazon Prime, that's what I wanted to
Yeah.
mention. If you have
Oh,
an Amazon Prime subscription,
speaking
you
of,
also have access to Stars. So I just wanted to let people know that. And did you check it out? Because I told you about it last week. And hashtag
I
you're
didn't
not
get a
sponsored.
chance to.
Okay. But that was the way I was able to see the, Spider-Man movie again because I rented it and watched it, but I was able to kinda pick apart and clue into all the little, nuances of it's not is it No Way Home
Yeah.
or what's the latest one? First one was
Yeah.
Homecoming,
No Way Home.
second one was Far From Home, and this
Yes.
was No Way Home.
Yes. No way
And
home.
evidently,
Because
'cause
they had no way home.
and 'cause yeah, all these Spider-Man from the different dimensions, and it was so cool. Um, but, the one cool thing was the scene where, oh, who's the kid who plays, Ned, Spider-Man's best friend, and he's talking
Oh, I
to,
forget his real name. I forget his real
uh
name.
and again, they never officially numbered the Spider-Man, but if you had to number him, he was talking to, Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man number 1, and he goes, "Did you have a best friend?" He goes, "Yeah, but he died in my arms after trying to kill me," or yeah, and then Ned is like, "Oh, I would never do that," but yet and you could probably fill me in on this part because in the last one, with him with the ring on and doing the magic was kinda hinting that he might become a superhero or supervillain. What can you tell us about that from the comic book?
I don't know how I don't know how the MCU is gonna do this. Ned
Uh-huh.
Leeds and the is a totally different character.
Okay.
So it's kind of complicated, but um what they did was they kind of mixed two different universes together when they did
Okay.
the MCU,
Uh-huh.
and there was all spot universe called the Ultimate Universe where they had the same heroes but in a different universe and kind of
Mhm.
like run and updated, did it in a um this Spider-Man, this Peter Parker is like that Spider-Man. But that Spider-Man died, and that's where they made way for Miles Morales to come in. So, and then they put Miles Morales in the same universe as Peter Parker Spider-Man anyway. So it's kind of like hard, it's it's kind of hard to know where they're going with it. They could go with him having magic powers. But in the Marvel comic, Ned Leeds is not Peter Parker's best friend, and Ned Leeds becomes a supervillain.
Okay. Well, that's what some of the speculation I read online was that, um, him having these magical powers was gonna lead to him becoming a supervillain and actually maybe at one
Well,
point,
his
you
name
know, in Spider-Man Home Sweet
well,
Home
the
or
supervillain.
Sweet Home Alabama or whatever the next Spider-Man movie with the home title is. We should speculate on
Yeah,
what the next title
that's
will
the
be.
going on thing. Well, the actor who plays Ned Leeds is Jacob Batalon,
Uh-huh.
and Ned Leeds in comic books, he's not Peter's best friend. Let's say
Mhm.
Fred Peters, but he becomes a supervillain known as the Hobgoblin.
Okay.
Not to confuse with the Green Goblin, but he's the Hobgoblin,
Okay.
and he takes some of the Green Goblins. He takes some of the Green Goblin's like stuff to become his own, villain, the Hobgoblin. And if they want to make this Ned Leeds the Hobgoblin, I could see where magic would come into play and making him like a true Hobgoblin, because that sounds like something that this MCU universe would do, is make him a
Okay.
true Hobgoblin. And what's the best way to make a Hobgoblin than with magic? So that
So
should be
that could
on.
be coming.
However, where they are now with the story, I don't see that happening. And you've made this Ned on the other universe, the other Spider-Mans, their best
Mhm.
friend was always like, an Osborn. And that person going evil was easy to see. In this universe, this best friend is Ned Leeds. It doesn't really make sense for them to make him a villain.
Well,
Doesn't really make
I mean,
sense.
does does it ever make sense? And I think with this MCU, and I think people say at least more so than maybe what they're doing over on the DCU. Aren't they true to the comics or more inspired by the comic or not?
The MCU is more inspired. The MCU is more inspired by the comic and more true comics, whereas the DCU is a sinking ship
Why would you call it a sinking ship?
because they've canceled. They
Cancel
have
back.
there's new movies ready to do. They cancel Batgirl. They cancel Supergirl. They might cancel a whole bunch of shows that they have on HBO Max.
Mhm.
Now, and for the longest time, they were going to run The Flash with Ezra Miller, who is just a mess of themselves, them
It's just
himself,
I'm sorry, you're
himself.
cutting out. You're cutting out. So I'm sorry. What was that about Ezra Miller?
Ezra Miller Flash.
Uh-huh.
They might have to cancel that too because he has so many legal troubles.
Oh, okay. Why not bring in another actor to play that role? Like maybe even the Flash from the TV show.
Because they've already filmed it.
Oh, they've already filmed it.
Everybody wants that.
Okay.
They've
Oh,
already
you know,
filmed it.
and
It's already done. It's
I
in the
guess
can.
they must be picking the wrong folks too, because isn't like Amber Heard, she's a part of the DCU, right? From Aquaman?
Yeah,
And
she's Aquaman's love interest.
yeah, and she's got some legal issues. Or I guess Shaw is done
Somebody
now.
in somebody somebody in casting is going, let's pick the craziest person we can in Hollywood and cast them in the movie.
And bring them to the DCU, baby. No.
When you talk, well, The Rock, they're hoping that The Rock brings everything together.
Okay, who's
The
The Rock
Rock is a
gonna
name.
play?
And The Rock's movie's coming out in October, I believe. Black Adam.
I'm sorry, Black Adam?
And Black Adam is normally the nemesis of Shazam. But in this case, lately Black Adam is kind of like an anti-hero, hero type person.
Now, I don't think we ever talked about Shazam. Where were you with Shazam? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I personally love Shazam. It was just like the comic book. I loved it.
Because I actually enjoyed that movie. I really
loved
did.
it. Shazam was Shazam was one of the best movies that DC did.
Oh wow. So it was true to the book.
Yeah,
more so
Shazam was one of it was better. It was me and George had a conversation about DC. We always do because we're so frustrated with it, and how movies like Shazam was better than Batman, Superman. And you would expect like a Batman, Superman movie to be everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't. And it wasn't. So there you go. But speaking of,
I mean, I wasn't crazy
talking about comic book
Batman, but go ahead.
No, speaking of Amazon Prime, and we're talking about comic book movies, there is a movie on Amazon Prime that you and I think everybody would love. It's based on a comic book, but it's not like capes and things like that. It's called Paper Girls, and it's on Amazon Prime. And this movie is the bomb diggity. Now it says young adults. It's about 4 paper girls who time travel and inadvertently time travel. And this is the best movie this is the best streaming show that you will ever see. I watched all 8 episodes last Sunday in a row because it was that compelling.
Paper Girls, and this is on which one? Netflix?
It's Amazon Prime.
Amazon
Prime.
Okay. And it's called Paper Girls.
Paper Girls on
I
Amazon
might
Prime.
check it out because I've been in such a loop. I've only been watching that. Okay, don't shame me. But this was a USA series, Burn Notice. I've just been like binging Burn Notice because I realized I watched the first 2 seasons of it, I think, when it first came on, and then I had a life and did stuff and forgot about it and didn't watch it, so I've been kind of catching up. But Paper Girls is the one I'll check out. Anybody in our comments, if you've seen Paper
Paper
Girls,
Girl. Well,
because let me know.
speaking of
Or is it
speaking
all
of streaming old shows, I've been streaming Community.
Community?
I've been streaming Community. It's funny. Community is hilarious. I'm so mad I didn't catch it when it was out the first time. Community is hilarious.
You know what? And that seems to be my MO. I'm always like, 2 or 3 years behind. The one show that I think had I watched it during its original run, I think would have been right up my alley was Gilmore Girls. And I actually didn't discover it till it was like in syndication. And now, I've gone back and I've watched the whole series and I really love it. But there's two, The Office and probably Community are two that I'm sure would appeal to my sense of humor, and a lot of the actors that are in those shows I love. So those are two that are probably on my binge
Yeah.
list. So, when
Yeah.
when we're full
Community
blown into
is
the monkeypox pandemic, then maybe I'll be shut in and I can watch The Office and Community. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be
But I'm
joking
telling
about
you, watch Paper
but I was actually at
watch Paper Girls. And you know what else is on Amazon Prime?
What else is on Amazon Prime?
A series based on A League of Their Own.
Oh, you know what? I saw the ad for that on my box, on my Fire Stick. A League of Their Own.
Yeah, I'm
Have
gonna
you
have to
watched
check that
that
out.
one yet?
No, I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah.
I haven't had a
Okay.
chance.
So is Paper Girls
A
like
series?
the answer to The Boys? Like the girl
No,
version of
it has
The
nothing
Boys?
to do with The Boys.
Okay. I was just
No, definitely not. Definitely not. The Boys is something that you have to be in the state of. The Boys is a great show. The Boys is an awesome show. But you have to be in the right state of mind to watch The Boys because it is very graphic. The language is graphic. The content is graphic. If you're weak, if you got a weak, like, I don't know, if you're a very moral person and like you can't take but so much profanity and nasty stuff, don't watch The Boys. But The Boys is awesome. The Boys is great.
Well, we are putting this up
The
because
Boys is that show that'll keep you coming back. This scene you see on the average, I'm not getting like this scene here. This scene here you see in the advertisement of Paper. That's time travel, and a lot of them inadvertently meet their future selves.
Oh, cool. So it's a little quantum leap-ish.
The one girl, the comedian
what was
that's on
that show,
there.
that Jerry O'Connell show?
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Steve. Steve's in the house. What was we talked about it and I couldn't think of the name of it. The Jerry O'Connell show where they time traveled.
Oh my God, what's the name of that show?
Quantum Leap was Dean Stockton.
Not Quantum Leap. I know what you're talking about too. I know what you're talking about.
With Jerry O'Connell.
Can you look that up for me? Just show with Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah, I can't think
I
of
got
the
Olivia
name.
looking it up for me.
But like they do some kind of, not Time Bandits. Jeez, we were talking about the other week. We had to actually look it up.
Time Bandits.
Huh? It's not Time Bandits. It was a TV show, and
the show was Sliders.
Sliders. Of course. We're talking.
It was called Sliders.
Sliders. You're right. Okay. Anyway, I like that.
It was called Sliders.
I gotta find out where
slide through. They weren't time travelers. They were dimension travelers. They would go to different
Oh, that's
dimensions.
right. You know what? And that kinda brings us back to Spider-Man
They were
with
dimension.
the multiverse. So they were
Yeah,
traveling in
they would go to different
dimensions,
They wouldn't time
right.
travel.
It wasn't time travelers. Now there is another show, Time Wasters, that I've been seeing advertised, like, on my Fire Stick, and I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, definitely
Um,
check it out. They go to they start
and
and
that will
the thing about Paper Girls is, excuse me, they start out I thought it was a ripoff of because it's kids in the 80s. Because these girls started off in 1988.
okay. Well,
And it's
it's 'cause
funny
'80s was
because
the best
they
decade.
traveled
It had
to
coolest music.
2019. They traveled to 2019. Yeah, I know. 80s was the greatest. 80s was the greatest. And they traveled to 2019 at one point, and
Mhm.
there's so many things that like an echo. One of the people in the future has an echo, and the computer talking, the echo starts talking, and they get freaked out by it. They get freaked out by the computer. They say, "See, they know they're in the future, but it's see, the computers have taken over the future," and they're like all freaked out by the echo thing and whatnot. So it's a lot of things that right now we take for granted that we had in the 80s, that some things that we forgot about, that we went back to the 80s and we look now like we would be like, how the heck, like how am I talking to you, like, because we didn't do this stuff in the 80s. We didn't have this.
How in the world are we streaming
We didn't have
with a computer, a camera, and
Yeah,
a
we didn't
couple
have streaming and cell phones and things like that.
oh gosh, and
Look,
this device
you
here is
call
something totally out
long
of,
distance on Sunday night and you liked it.
you know, when you think about, like, the iPads and, you remember seeing shows like, Star Trek where they had, like, all kinds of, like, technology coming out and or they were writing on all these little things, and basically it's what we use today as like an iPad was something we saw. um
Yeah,
smart watches that can tell your heartbeat and all that stuff. My watch can even keep calls and things. Was that was even before Star Trek. That was something like out of like the Dick Tracy comics.
yeah.
So kind of cool, the influence of
But it is that
if you think about the influence of, like, pop culture as far as things that authors wrote about, whether it's H.G. Wells and TV shows and comics of the 50s and 60s, and how they influenced the people who are actually designing and creating the technology that we use today. I think some of that is pretty awesome.
well, Steve has an interesting question. And would 80s
Would
still be
80s still be the
the same if we
same if we
had
had
no, I
today's
don't think
tech?
80s would be the same if we had today's technology.
No. I think, part of
Nah.
the well,
Video could already
because with the technology that we have now, like, things like, I don't know whether we would have had, like, an MTV in the '80s, whether we would have been able to enjoy, like, just the novelty of
no, we
music
wouldn't.
video if we had the tech we had now back then in the '80s and people could just watch it on their, like, I don't even think we would have like, um, oh, what's the phrase? Must see TV. Because even that's gone now because we
Yeah.
don't really have that because people are watching on demand what they want. So we're living in this very Burger King world. It's kind of like have it your way. Um, whereas in the '80s, only certain things were offered. So you had to have it the way you had to take it like you got it. So that's the way you had to, that's the way
Yeah,
you had to
yeah,
and
take it like you got it. Now, I will say you made a comment earlier about things 30s and 40s that are coming alive, and in actuality, the man and Woman. The man who created Wonder Woman
Mm-hmm.
was actually, because Wonder Woman had the magic lasso that made you tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually one of the people who helped invent the lie detector.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. It's almost
Gentleman
like
who created Wonder Woman actually was the person who also helped create the lie detector test, and he had the magic lasso, and that was tell the truth. He's out. That point of knowledge of useless knowledge that I know. It's
oh yeah.
amazing.
My
Um,
mind has an endless capacity for useless information. That's actually a quote from
yeah.
a movie. You never watched that movie either. It's called Playing by Heart. Did you ever watch it?
What?
Playing by Heart.
I never watched it yet.
You have got to watch this movie. Please watch this movie. I know it. You'll be,
Okay.
oh, it's a chick flick. I don't want to watch it, but it is so good. So do watch it, and it's got some
Look,
really unquotable
I'm
lines.
still getting. I am
But
still
I'm
getting
gonna go
grief
watch
from a lot of
Fangirl.
people because I still haven't seen Poetic Justice.
What? What? You know what? You know that card game we have where your black card gets revoked?
My
Dang.
black heart. Yeah.
Your black card is revoked.
I haven't seen
Go ahead.
Poetic Justice. Yeah, I still haven't seen that one. As a matter of fact, I was at an event where I was hosting. It was a poetry event, and it came out that I never seen Poetic Justice. Even the DJ stopped playing music. He's like, "You never seen what? You're cool. Kenny."
Oh, oh wait. I don't have that sound. I'm like,
I mean, it was one of the things. It was one of the
yeah.
things I obsessed with.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
it
it.
was
I, was
bad.
like, I had
It
to
was
find this
bad.
sound. It's like, yeah, that they're playing music, it's jamming, and people are like,
It was
you
bad.
know,
You
like
never seen
let's say,
Poetic Justice?
like the music
It
is
was one of
up,
the
they're
things
like
where
jamming and jamming. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've never seen Poetic Justice.
yes, that's exactly what happened.
That's
Because let me
you.
tell you something. There were diverse people in the room, young, old, black, white, and I said even the white folks turned against me, the old people turned against me, everybody turned against me. They're like I almost didn't host that night because I almost had to leave. I didn't.
Hey, you know what?
Everybody turned against me.
Hey, I know we had talked about, well, again, tonight's topic was just pop culture news. We didn't really get to any of the news because I know you had originally wanted to talk about Olivia Newton-John, although I know everybody loves Grease, but I'm sorry, my favorite Olivia Newton-John movie is, and I know you know it, right, Kenny? What do you think I'm going to say?
Xanadu,
Xanadu.
Xanadu. Now that we're here, Xanadu.
Xanadu.
There was
I'm
a movie
sorry.
she did though with Olivia Newton. There was a movie she did with John Travolta,
Mhm.
not Grease, but another movie where she does the
Okay.
song "Gotta Be a Strange Twist of Fate." I forgot the name
Oh,
of that movie. I
it
like
is
that
Twist
movie.
of Fate. Twist of Fate is the movie.
What's the name of
Um,
Twist of Fate?
the name of the movie is Twist of Fate. I'm pretty sure. But even that, I'm sorry,
And every
Xanadu is the movie. And yeah, I know everybody is, the Grease fans and everything. I didn't know she was in Face Off, so I guess she paired up with
oh, you really should
huh?
be a
No,
Grease 2
they list
fan.
Face Off as one of her
I
credits.
mean, I know Grease, Olivia Newton-John. The Grease 2 is way better than Grease.
I know you're
Grease 2 is way Grease.
we know you're
Just saying.
hardcore on the Grease too, but I know Grease 1, and that was a movie too. It took me a while to see it. Like I didn't see it in the movies, and I think I saw it like years after it was out. It was almost like Titanic. It was one of those movies I was like, do I really need to see this? It's just been overhyped. And I saw it and I liked it and it was okay. But I'm telling you, Xanadu was the movie. Lover, I won't take a back seat tonight. Ooh. And then they
Although,
soundtrack and what? Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say this.
Mhm.
Beck, Michael Beck, who starred in Xanadu, before he did Xanadu, like a year before
Is
he
that
did
your phone?
Xanadu, Warriors.
Michael Beck was in Streets of
Yeah,
Fire?
yeah. I'm gonna Mike. Stop.
Oh.
Mike,
Oh, no, no, wait. Michael Beck,
no, no.
not
Michael Beck was in the Warriors.
Warriors. I'm sorry, I'm getting them confused. Streets of
Yeah,
Fire was Michael Pear from
yeah.
Eddie.
Michael Beck was in the Warriors. He was in the Warriors. He was like a year before he did Xanadu, and he has this whole thing where he's been quoted as saying, you know, Warriors made me a star, and Xanadu kind of messed that up because it wasn't considered a good back then.
Right. Well, and you know what? I don't know. I
He-
mean, to me, it's a cult favorite. It's one of those movies. I would love it if they brought it back into a theater because I think I would love to see it in the theater. But when you talk about the 80s and how big like HBO was, I think there were a couple movies that people probably wouldn't even know about. Uh, Car Hops, had it not been for HBO. Like, I think they must have had 15 movies that they just showed over and over and over again. But Xanadu, I think, was one of them, which maybe that's why I'm a fan of it because it's one of those things that I watched over and over and over again. But
okay,
also
let
too, because
let
famous people tend to
let
die in threes, uh, also lost Anne Heche, who I guess was most famous for that movie with Harrison Ford, but probably even more famous than that for, like, dating, like, Ellen DeGeneres at, like, the height of her career and her fame and stuff, so as coming out as gay, but I don't know, there seems to be controversy around her death because it's alleged that she was drunk driving when she ran into the
well,
house.
what they're saying is there, and then also saying there was also narcotics in her system.
Oh, wow. Mm.
So right before she had the accident, she was at a hair salon and she had
Mhm.
bought a red wig. And I saw a news report with a gentleman that she bought the wig from. And it was like probably within the hour before the accident. She said she was very nice. She came in, she wanted the wig. He offered to shampoo it for her. Don't wear it. And she style it for her. And she goes, "Oh, I got to get going." And he gave her the product so she can style it and whatnot. But
Mhm.
she just took the wig and took the products, and they said she was very nice and she was very friendly, and she left and she seemed like nothing was wrong. And then within an hour, she was at fire crash. She crashed into somebody's house, and there was a woman with a dog and a turtle and a cat, I believe. And the woman, all her animals got out safely, but she was renting the house, and the house is totally trashed. She said life is now upside down, but she
Wow.
made it out safe. So that's my report on that. Yes. So there's a fire crash, and she was alive during the crash, but once they got to the hospital, things went south, and
Yeah.
she had to go into a
She was
coma.
in a burn
So
unit,
she was
right?
in critical condition. Yeah, yeah, she was in the burn unit, and apparently after the crash, she never regained consciousness, and
Wow.
then she slipped into the coma, and then I think one of the reasons that they had her on life support for so long is because she was an organ donor, so they had to figure out
Right.
before they pulled the plug what to do with her organs.
Okay.
So they gave her a trial
And
where
I
they
don't know.
found
Hey,
what
have
organs
you
were
checked
salvageable and what they could do with them.
have you checked that off on your driver's license to be an organ donor?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, give them
See, I
away.
haven't.
Give them away and burn the body. I'm good. Give them away, burn the body, and then have a party. Don't have a funeral.
And
Have a party. I
they
told
they
my
say
kids this.
famous people die in threes, and I know you're not a fan, but I'm a huge fan of the Howard Stern show. And his father passed away within the last couple days. He was 99 years old, which to me that symbolizes a pretty good life. But
Yeah,
for
but he
fans,
wasn't really a star.
but
Dying.
no,
That's
if you
great.
were a fan of the
Great.
Howard Stern show, he was because he appeared on the radio program and his some of his quotes were constantly are part of the lexicon of Howard Stern. If you were a fan, shut up, sit down, don't be a moron, and all the stuff he used to call his kid. But Ben Stern. Anyway, I know we're over time, but we started a little late. But I wanted to end the show with a new feature. Are you up for it, Kenny?
I
Kenny
am
Walker?
up for everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm up for everything.
I have these cool things, and they're called pod decks. Okay, pod decks. So what pod decks are? It's
Okay.
just questions, and actually, I have a couple of series of the pod decks. One is the interview deck, which is random interview questions, and that's what this deck I had out was the interview deck. But you know what? I'm going to go with the Would You Rather deck. So I'm going to randomly pull from my pod decks a Would You Rather. Are you up for that? For trying to answer that question?
Yes, I'm up for that.
All right. So hopefully it'll be. Oh, I dropped the box. Ah. Okay, I'm back. All right. So it's just a bunch of questions. And I mean, you can do them online too, but pod decks are kind of fun. It's almost like a party game. And you know what, Kenny? I got another game for you, a card game, but I left it in I think I left it at work that I wanted to bring. So would you rather? So I'm just gonna shuffle the cards up like this and randomly pull one, and hopefully it's something
Would you
appropriate.
rather?
Okay. Would you rather? Uh, all right. Let's see. All right. So we're going to end with a would you rather. All right. Would you rather eat peanut butter and jelly or grilled cheese sandwiches every day?
Peanut butter and jelly.
I was about to say that's not even a fair one
Peanut butter.
because anybody who knows you or
Peanut butter and
anybody
jelly.
who grew up with you, which I guess that's
Yeah.
me,
Anybody?
would know it's peanut butter and jelly. Now tell me this: with your
Well,
peanut butter and
you know,
jelly, how, yeah, what does
any,
it look like?
anybody
White
who
bread,
knows me
bread.
as a kid. Well, I used to do it on white bread, but now I do it on wheat bread. If I do it
Okay,
at all, I do it on
chunky or
wheat bread.
smooth?
I don't even eat bread anymore.
You don't eat
Huh?
bread anymore? Oh God, I wish I could get rid of bread. Oh, I would lose the
I
50
do
pounds
eat.
I
I
gained
do.
to prove it.
I do eat bread. Like I have a Chick-fil-A sandwich that I'm going to have to heat up and eat
Mhm.
for dinner. I have a Chick-fil-A sandwich, but it's a
You
grilled
take the bread
sandwich.
out.
So I'm going to eat that bread, but I usually don't eat bread more. I usually don't eat more. I don't go to fast food places, and I drink a lot of water now.
Oh, that's good. That is really good.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I I do
try
like
not to
a good
die.
peanut butter and
Go
jelly,
ahead.
but do you go grape jelly or do you go strawberry?
Oh, grape jelly,
See, I'm kind of like over the grape
classic.
jelly. You know what? I love a good PB and J, but instead of J, it's really a PB and P because I prefer strawberry preserves. And you know what? If you
Now,
want to be extra, if
what
you want to
peanut
be
butter do you prefer?
I actually like a chunky peanut butter. I like there's something about the texture. I don't know. But if you want to be extra, even with a smooth peanut butter, and I'm not picky. I could have a Jif. I could have I'm not a big fan of Peter Pan. It seems oily, but I can do a Jif or a Skippy, no problem. But if you want to bump it up a
Yeah.
notch,
You know,
this is not for everybody, but if you want to bump it up a notch, here's what you do. When you make your PB and J, before you smash those two together, you put some potato chips in your sandwich. Then the magic
no, no,
happens.
no,
That's
no, no,
how
no, 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 no. If you wanna make a good peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you wanna add something to it, you wanna add a little extra bounce.
Mhm.
Boil yourself an egg. Boil an egg and cut that up and put that in between the peanut butter and jelly. Watch your face
Oh,
change all of a sudden.
hell
The
no.
face change really
No.
quick.
I'm
Boil an egg
sorry. No. All right, Pop Culture Kids,
and put
don't
the
take that
egg in
advice.
between the boiled egg, cut it up, and put it in between the peanut butter and jelly. Yes, yes, a boiled egg. Trust me.
Actually, oh, 3 jams. Oh, man, up in Maine, probably some good homemade jams. I am,
Hey,
although
hey, Liv, you wanna make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and put boiled egg in between?
ew, that is
It's
just
Livy if she wanted to do that.
beyond gross. Anyway, as we
We can do that
wrap
for
up
dessert.
and wind down, we thank you
I
guys for
asked.
hanging
I
out
asked.
and bearing through the technical difficulties. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Yes. I'm sorry. I will not have technical difficulties next week. No, I will not
And hopefully, when
have
you're
technical
home,
difficulties next week.
do you hardwire in as opposed to using Wi-Fi?
No, yeah. When I'm home, next week when I'm home, if I'm home, I will
Mhm.
hardwire in.
Yeah, because I think that would
I
help
will
too,
hardwire
because
in.
it seems like your sound has been in and out, as well as your face freezing up a couple times.
Yeah,
So I think that's
my
probably the
visual.
way
Yeah,
we need to go
yeah.
if we're
I
gonna
will
stream.
hardwire in.
And also, yeah, I mean, I hook up the Roadcaster, show that baby some love. If you're not going to, I'll snatch that back too, because
Okay.
I'll take
I
the
didn't
lead and
know.
have my
I'm
kids
gonna.
start
I
a
well.
podcast. I'd love for my kids to start a podcast. But go ahead.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I will use the Rodecaster Pro, and I will plug that in, and I will do it because tomorrow I have something to do tomorrow, but I can't remember what it is. So I'm staying home all day until I remember what it is that I have to do tomorrow.
That's some old man.
I forgot. I forgot.
I feel so
I don't
sorry.
I don't know.
I think this year
I'm
you're probably gonna
supposed
wind
to
up
be
being
somewhere
older than
tomorrow, and
I hope you're not supposed to be somewhere.
hey Bill, you're coming in late, but thanks for joining us. Huh?
I said, oh, Uncle Bill, hey, tomorrow's church day. Yeah, gotta get to bed early. Uncle
Tomorrow's
Bill.
church.
Um, no, yeah, he's from the income stream peeps. Anyway, as we head out, gosh, Kenny, that's the just you know what? You need a calendar. You need to write it down so you don't forget. I got to make up labels for
I
that
don't even know.
uh, retirement luncheon that my parents are going to be a part of next week when they hit the Philly shores and are heading your way. So, best of luck to them and to all
I
you
have
guys.
to. I
Go ahead. We got you.
I bought it. I got an Alexa. I
Mhm.
got Echo. Something to like calendar stuff. So I remember what.
She could do that
But
for
I
you.
don't
That's
like.
the
I
cool
don't like
thing.
Alexa too much.
Uh-huh.
I
You
know, but
know,
I don't like talking to Alexa. I try to do the conversation where and then in my conversation, I asked her about comic books, superheroes, and she didn't talk about.
I don't know what you said
And
because
then
you're
and then I asked. Okay,
because
well,
you sound
I said I asked her. Yeah, I want Bill. I want to change his name. I do. I don't know how to do that because I don't like Alexa.
And you can change.
I want
You
to
can
change her
change
name.
the tone too, so that like you could give it an accent, or I think Alexa is similar to Siri that you can customize it to your liking. So we'll work on it
And you
for
know
you.
what I found out? I found out Alexa will
Mhm.
not use profanity.
Alexa will not use profanity. See, then you
Just
probably should stay close to that.
no, it won't.
Anyway, we are Kathy and Kitty. Every Saturday night we hang out. We explain pop culture, talking about what's going on in pop culture, talking about different topics. Next week, I have no idea where we're going to take this train, but we appreciate those of you pop culture kids who hang out with us on a Saturday night, and we will see you guys next Saturday.
Next week,
Next week? Oh, you know what we're talking about already?
Kathy, next week
Mhm.
we will spend the first half hour or so. Yeah, next week we will spend the first half hour catching up on pop culture news for that week.
Okay, I got you.
So if you have any of our pop culture kids have any questions or need any updates or anything, or want to talk about something within pop culture news, come on and talk to us, and we will be checking out pop culture news throughout the week, so we could talk to you. We'll tell you what's new on TV. We'll tell you what's new on different things going on in movies, and if any death.
Also tech, because I love my gadgets. I'm not even going to show you my new gadget is still in the box. So
new tech.
It's not really new. It's old.
New fashion, and we will tell you a new artist out. Like this week we told you to check out Leon Bridges, and next week we will tell you another new artist to check out.
Yes. All right. So with that said, we will see you pop culture kids next week, 8:30, Facebook, YouTube. Kathy and Kenny explain pop culture. Have a good week. Peace.
God bless your soul and keep living. Peace.
Be out.
Thank you for geeking out with Kathy and Kenny on Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture.